할 게 없는 거예요.
너무나 절실합니다.
Is it possible to revive an idol's career after years of obscurity? By 2017, 436 known idol groups made their debut, all competing in a high-stake environment, chasing the same spotlight and the opportunities it has to offer. For 3 months, 126 youths would compete in a strict environment to explore their full potential for a chance to reboot their less than successful career and satisfy a long-lasting hunger. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Midnight Theories, and if you're new here, welcome to Midnight Theories. The unit was advertised as an idol reboot project to find diamonds in the rough and give them a second purpose, but failed to accomplish their main goal. In this video, we'll break down why the unit failed and the controversies that engulfed it. The unit, also stylized as Uni+, pronounced as UNI+, received much anticipation for its unique take on a survival show. The program aimed to specifically offer second chances to idols who experience slumps in their career, another opportunity for rediscovery. Familiar names such as Boyfriend, Brave Girls, U-Kiss, Dal Shabit, Top Dog, Daya, and The Ark auditioned for the show amongst others, but no idols from the big three. Not only were the idols a big attraction for the show, but another big selling point were the mentors. Rain, Hyuna, Taemin, Sunny, Chil, and Chohyuna. Rain is a well-known solo artist full of accolades and achievements that's known the same level of desperation as the competitors on the show. The singer started from humble beginnings as a member of the 1998 boy group Fan Club that was short-lived due to their lack of popularity. After receiving numerous offers to host other survival shows in the past and turning them all down, he accepted the offer for the unit because of the show's main goal. Hyuna, yet another big name on the mentor list, started her music career at the young age of 15 in the girl group Wonder Girls and has since had a successful career filled with opportunities such as being a member of 4 Minute and most notably her solo career. In her interview with Cosmopolitan magazine, Hyuna shared her thoughts and reasons for being a mentor on the show. I understand how the contestants feel more than anyone else because I've also gotten to where I am today through my experiences as a trainee and rookie. If I were to return when I first debuted, I would want to learn and enjoy myself more. She explained how that was the advice she wants to give the contestants of the unit, to learn as much as they can from their experience while still having fun. Taemin, who also started his career in the industry at a young age as a member of SHINee for 13 years, during his press conference for his 2017 solo concert, Taemin was asked about his position as a mentor for the show. Although I'm lacking, I've become a mentor. This definitely doesn't mean that I'm better than the contestants. Instead, I feel like I'm an acquaintance and colleague that does the same job as them. I sincerely spoke to them about the things I felt that I have more experience in. I was actually really nervous at first. I wondered if I really qualified to be judging anyone. I think that while talking about various things, I actually noticed some things that I need to correct about myself, and it's been an opportunity for me to improve. Sunny would be an MC and rap mentor on the show, and soloist Chil and Urban Zakuppa's Chohyuna would be a vocal mentor. 500 auditionees all gathered together for 3 days straight at an audition hall, waiting to show the mentors and audience their skills and what they have to offer. Each contestant would audition in a group or solo setting and had 1 or 2 ways to pass. Either have a mentor pass them or have 90% of the audience pass them. Members of the audience were given remotes with the pass or fail button to vote during the contestant's performance, where they would have the chance to receive 1 boot, which would be when 15% of the audience would vote for them, or super boot, which is given when 90% of the audience votes for the contestant. If the contestant did not receive a super boot, the mentors would determine whether or not to pass each performer. If any participant would receive a boot from any one of the mentors, they would automatically be able to join the show. The talent pool was filled with participants equipped with charm and skill, more than the average survival show, who mainly focus on debuting trainees. Out of the 500 contestants who auditioned, 126 who passed would compete in missions and stages for a chance to debut in the show's final boy group and girl group, consisting of 9 members each. As the auditions concluded, the contestants were tasked with missions such as self-producing and position battles. These missions offered amazing opportunities such as being the center of the teams for the music video produced by the show, a chance to perform in Rain's comeback stage, and best of all, immunity for eliminations. Just like any survival show, the audience and viewers at home got to vote for their favorite artist to catapult them into the next round. On top of online voting, the show allowed in-person audience for the performances. Each audience member had to sign a non-disclosure stating that they would be fined 100 million Korean won, or 87,000, if they spread spoilers. When talking about the unit, it's almost impossible not to mention its competitor, Mix9, and vice versa, since both programs aired around the same time and both producers worked with each other before. One of the unit's producers, Kim Kwang-soo, worked with Produce 101's main producer Hang Dong-chol, who later moved to YG Entertainment and created Mix9. The original idea for the show was credited to PD Hang Dong-chol, who claims to have had the idea of male and female contestants competing against each other since season 1 of Produce 101. Kim stated while he was working with Han Dong-chol, he was in the talks of a new show about rebooting idols who had not yet achieved the spotlight. Kim really liked the idea and saw it as an opportunity to reinvent the idols and himself. However, as the unit advertised itself as a reboot survival show for existing idols with the goal of giving both a girl group and boy group a second shot, Mix9 had its male and female participants compete against each other where only one group would debut. One of the major differences was one show actually debuted their groups while the other backed out and cancelled the debut entirely, sweeping it under the rug. Following the constant comparison, there was blank distinctions. Some netizens believe that the unit tends to encourage contestants with kind words and warm welcome, while Mix9 takes a far more critical and strict approach with its participants. Even one of the unit's PD chimed in and said, "Our program aims not to generate revenue, but to provide opportunities." Adding on to the constant comparison between the unit and Mix9, the unit was also heavily compared to Produce 101 for its structure and concepts. Instead of having the majority of participants be trainees, the unit switched it to idols who had already had experience in the industry. Viewers frowned upon the show imitating the sleeveless-style basketball shirts and sticker system to mark the leader and the center, which by now is honestly common and implemented into many survival shows. The unit's chief producer did speak up and acknowledge the comparisons. There is a duty to reflect current trends, and while we were planning, it was not easy to search for very original things. Netizens also accused the unit of plagiarizing J-pop girl group AKB48's 2012 Tokyo Dome performance for their music video My Turn. In response, some netizens were defending the unit, saying this is something done quite commonly, it's not plagiarizing, we've all seen this already. But what are your thoughts? Circling back to the auditions, we need to talk about the mentors' criteria and the unfair conditions some of these idols were subjected to. There was really only one criteria for a boot, and that was if the contestant was desperate enough. Dancing, singing, and rapping were considered after the fact, while charisma, personal history, and charm went over the mentors more, betraying the auditionees who have been in the industry for years and trained their asses off, and the viewers desperate to see their idols back in the spotlight. For example, Lee Jung-ha, an aspiring actor who lacked dancing and singing skills more than any of the other contestants, passed his audition because of his attractive smile and charm. Compared to Boyfriend, an idol group had been in the game since 2011 and were both internationally and domestically popular at their peak, were eliminated during their audition because they looked quote tired while performing. But never in these survival programs do they mention how long their shooting days actually are. When you have to get through 500 people alone to audition and only 3 days, these shooting days are going to bleed into the next day. There will be groups who will be at a disadvantage from the very beginning because they are on standby for hours. Just like in Boyfriend's case where they were on standby for 12 hours and performed at 1 a.m. So of course these boys were exhausted before they even got on stage, trying to keep their mind and body awake and alert. The only exception to pass the round was their group's leader Donghyun, who passed and made it to the final episode. A similar situation happened to Top Dog. Top Class, Top Dog's fandom, began to make noise of the boys being treated unfairly on the show. In a post by a fan, they claimed the group had to reintroduce themselves 4 times because of mic issues, and on top of this, only 2 of the members were allowed to show their individual talents due to quote lack of time. However, contestants who auditioned after were given the opportunity to share their entire performances. According to Wikipedia, kapchil is an expression referring to an arrogant and authoritarian attitude or action of people in South Korea who have the position of power over others. During the airing of the unit, a petition surfaced making some serious claims about the unit and their network KBS. There was a report that the broadcasting company put pressure on groups and agencies that did not want to participate. According to the creator of the petition, they claimed the broadcast company would allegedly disadvantage the artists on music programs such as Music Bank if they did not appear on the unit. The Korea Broadcasting Corporation denied such allegations, but as time goes on, more specific articles were coming out. According to the petition, he refused to participate, but he participated because of concern of disadvantages in broadcasting. Just like every survival show, these contestants have to follow the house rules in order to continue participating. One of the rules specifically highlighted was the no dating rule. The male and female contestants were housed on different floors and even had separate time slots to eat, so the contestants wouldn't have much time to interact with each other outside of filming. Some expressed the rule was unnecessary since everyone was too busy to compete and train anyways.
연애 금지? 어이가 없어가지고 지금 막
연애를 할 수 있나요? 여기서?
사회에서도 잘 안 되는 게 연애인데
합숙소라고 잘 될 거라는 생각.
This didn't stop the boys from coming up with strategies to sneak a peek at the girls from time to time. Despite the dating rule, one contestant was actually caught in a dating rumor after the show. 2 months after the show concluded, one of the unit's mentor, Jo Hyuna, was caught in a dating scandal with one of the show's male contestants, Chaejin from My Name. A video clip leaked online of the two in an intimate setting being playful as Jo Hyuna had her legs wrapped around Chaejin, who looked to be wearing just a shirt and underwear. As the clip circulated, netizens criticized the pair due to their mentor and contestant relationship, finding it to be a little inappropriate and instantly creating a thunderous storm of dating rumors. Here's what some netizens had to say. How can people who appear on the unit as mentor-student play like that? It's obvious what kind of relationship this is by looking at how the guy is wearing his underwear and the girl's legs wrapped around him. Both sides came out with their own statement, denying the dating rumors and separate statements from the agencies. However, not all netizens were critical of this clip or relationship. Here's what some K-Nets had to say on the matter. It's not really anything for him to be apologizing over. He's free to play any type of game that he wants. He should just go and find whoever uploaded it and beat them up. He was in his underwear on top of a woman, holding her arm down, while the woman looked like she was having the time of her life with her legs wrapped around his waist. Talk about embarrassing getting caught like that. Is this really worth an apology though? They're not minors. They weren't caught having an affair. Who cares what two consenting adults do in a room together? They weren't doing drugs either. Considering there was 126 participants competing on the show, not everyone will get an equal amount of screen time, especially when there's favoritism involved. Fans of the show grew increasingly upset when rookie groups or non-idols were given more screen time in full segments than actual groups like Top Dog, What's Up, Speed, and Hello Venus, who desperately needed this opportunity before their presence was expired in the industry and were completely edited out. Even Sanamu's Eunji got her shining moment cut out when the wrong song came on during her stage and she freestyled. This leads us to the show's biggest criticism of all. The biggest criticism the show received was the amount of newly debuted rookie groups and non-idols participating alongside idols who were in inactive groups or less recognized groups. The main reason the show was created in the first place. As viewers tuned in to watch the first episode, they were expecting to see familiar faces and hear stories of desperation of idols who had fallen into obscurity before reaching their full potential. Viewers felt rightfully betrayed. Out of the 126 contestants, almost a quarter of the participants were made up of trainees, models, actors, or rookie idols who just debuted in 2017, the same year the show was airing. Here are what some users had to say. They call this an idol rebooting project, but what's with the 13-year-old trainee and actor who had been on the Golden Bell? I watched the show because it was a rebooting program and they were going to look at desperation and potential and then look at talent. But actor Lee Jung-hwa was chosen because he was cute. There's a group that just debuted and a 13-year-old who probably hasn't really suffered. Doesn't it make more sense for people like Dal Shabit, Spica, Adam, Big Star, Boyfriend who have debuted but haven't really made it? There are a lot of people who have debuted a long time ago but haven't been able to reach their potential. They shouldn't have let people who are in their first year of debuting or these without singing experience to have applied. The goal of giving a chance to idols who have already debuted but didn't make it is already gone. Groups that failed or members that left current group should have came out for a second chance, but rookies who have been out for a few months have come out. An actor in training has come out with the Kim So-hee concept. He has no charm, but he has so much screen time and even has Rain supporting him, just blatantly pushing him forward. And a 13-year-old is rebooting? What is there to reboot? Yeah, it's weird and doesn't seem like fair. Honestly, this is only our opinion. The unit doesn't seem fair. It's said that this is a rebooting show and groups are given the second chance to get popularity. So why are there trainees and rookies on the show? No hate, of course. All of us know that nowadays it's hard for rookies to gain popularity because there are too many groups already in the industry and more groups are still debuting. But why do you say rebooting, second chance, while showing trainees who didn't even debut? Groups who just debuted are given a lot of screen time, are given long sob stories, but groups like Top Dog, Boyfriend, Big Star, etc. are having this. It doesn't seem like the first goal of the unit. Unit G was composed of all 9 female idols from disbanded or inactive groups, which was the intention of the group. The issue arose with the final boy group. While members such as Jun, Daewon, Eunji, and Hojang debuted in 2014, and Field Dog in 2012, the remaining 4 were rookie idols who just debuted, and Hansol who had yet to debut and was still a trainee at the time. This was upsetting to many since the contestants such as Donghyun from Boyfriend and Sungyeon from My Name contracts were coming to an end since they debuted in 2011. This may have been their last chance to relaunch their careers. As the show came to an end, 18 lucky individuals who were voted in by fans would be making their long-anticipated debut to relaunch their careers. However, in 2021, 3 years after the show ended, the Board of Audit and Inspection of Korea found errors in the voting process that affected the final results. On September 24th, the board released their periodic audit report on KBS, and according to the report, during the final episode of the unit, the freelance writer in charge entered the pre-broadcast viewer votes from a third-party company, which altered the overall score of the show's contestants. According to the board, 15 out of the 18 male contestants and 13 out of the 18 female contestants in the finale had scores that were different from the ones that were recorded on the show. The finale of KBS's The Unit was supposed to select 9 male members and 9 female members to form the project groups on a basis of pre-broadcasted online votes and real-time text votes sent in during the live broadcast of the final episode. The mistake occurred while tallying the online vote results. 3 members, 2 male and 1 female, who should have been eliminated ended up in the final group, while 3 members who should have been in the final group were eliminated. KBS responded. The board noted the mistake resulted in unfair results and issued a warning to KBS president and all of those who were involved in the show. Understandably, the unit and KBS did not disclose the members who were wrongfully eliminated or the contestants that debuted that shouldn't have. Considering the unit aired on one of the biggest networks in South Korea, the show could not keep an audience. Unlike Produce 101, which aired on Mnet and ended up with a 5% viewership rating, the first 2 episodes of the unit recorded a 5 to 6% viewership rating, but continued to drop as low as 1.6 as the show went on due to viewers' frustration, criticizing the show had lost its meaning of offering second chances to those who reach rock bottom, or the way the show is edited, making the program unbearably boring to keep up with. KBS made multiple attempts to grab attention by having the contestants perform on Music Bank, 2017 Gail Festival, KBS's Drama Awards, and the GAG concert, but all attempts fell short. In the end, no one was really watching, but as the show had kept its original plan, then things may have turned out differently. Instead, they accelerated the departure of its own fandom. Although the show lacked an audience, the producer still had high hopes for its winning teams. One of the show's PDs stated in an interview, "The show didn't do as well as expected, but I don't think that just because the show didn't do well, the idols won't do well. UNB and UNI-T are part of different agencies, but I try to do my best for them. They'll be able to put out 2 albums at least, and if things go well, maybe a 3rd. My goal is to make these idols into a treasure for the original agencies when they return." Indeed, this was a problem that would greatly affect the groups formed by the program, giving them false hope of reaching lukewarm success, not to mention their inability to promote both debut groups at the same time, which caused their debuts to be delayed. If you weren't following the members closely, you would have had almost no idea the groups had even debuted when they did. The winning groups, UNI-T and UNB, would go on to promote for 7 months, but if they gained success, their contract would be extended for up to 25 months. However, the group couldn't even keep or grow a fan base, with the unit having to cancel and change their 3rd fan meeting. Later, the show announced that they had moved to a smaller venue and the winning teams would be separated into their designated groups and hold a separate fan meeting in the future. UNI-T, made up of the winning female contestants, debuted with their first EP titled Line, with their lead single No More on May 18, 2018. The group were able to perform on Music Bank and the 2018 Dream Concert to promote their debut, but failed to gain as much traction as they predicted, releasing their second and last album, Beginning with the End, with their lead single I Mean, just 4 months later. As for the boy unit, UNB, the boys made their official debut with their EP Boyhood, with their featured tracks Feeling and Only One on April 7, 2018, and their last EP, Black Heart, would be released June 28th. UNB did significantly better than their female counterpart, UNI-T, in album sales and awards, selling almost triple the amount in album sales and winning the 2018 New Star Award. In the end, both groups did not achieve the popularity and success they were hoping for through the show, and have since faded back into the industry, or are still trying to make it to this day. The probability of successfully reviving an idol or group's career is slim but not impossible. The biggest examples are Brave Girls, who coincidentally enough did go on the show, and EXID, who did not appear on the show but is another great example. Both Brave Girls and EXID were commercially unsuccessful and close to packing their bags after multiple failed attempts to chart or sell albums, until both their careers were saved thanks to a fan-made video and fan cam respectively, which hit virality. Biggest issue here is the show is promising these hopeful contestants success and the spotlight on a platter when there are so many factors that have to go into creating a popular and chart-topping group. In reality, they were destined to be no bigger than a B-tier group by the end of the show. Due to the public losing interest early on, the show never received a second season and was looked at as more of an experiment with good intentions but blew up in their faces. The unit felt both the contestants and debut groups by not giving them a proper opportunity to compete against other artists who were desperately trying to relaunch their careers and having to share their little screen time and last chances with rookies who were just beginning their career. Being on the unit was many of these groups' last shot to stay in the industry, and groups such as Ajax, Bestie, 100%, Hotshot, and Baby Boo were just a few of the groups who disbanded after participating on the show. Do you believe the show letting rookie groups participate was a disadvantage to the veteran idols? If there was a second attempt at the unit, who would you like to see on the show? So with that being said, thank you for watching and enjoy your stay.